Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
Arithert,
Hello, everybody.
and Corvette.
At your service and your families.
And this week, we finally have some news because the server updates are finally scheduled and they are coming on January 11th.
Monday. LOTRO Players is proud to present. Just kidding, it's not really our event, but it is coming to you from the server room.
I'm actually really excited to, as soon as this goes live, to just go into the moors and see if there's no lag at all. It'll be beautiful.
Ooh, that's a really good test.
Ooh,
I
man,
know,
it's
right?
either going to be the most
Yeah.
amazing thing ever or the biggest letdown of the new year.
The thing is, going to the new servers with them powering it all up and transferring everything over, it might not be good still the first couple days. So, we'll have to wait and see what they say if it's working optimally or not, because there could be issues where the servers could be up, but it's still not working optimally. So, first day might not be the best test of lag for the new servers. We'll have to wait and see.
A little tweaking here and there.
It is good news though that they're finally upgrading the servers. The event that has been taking like a year almost is finally here, and so it's very good that this Monday will be on the new servers. That's
Yes.
after the downtime.
After the downtime. But it won't be the end of the road because the servers in Amsterdam are not ready yet, so they're going to be moving all the servers to New Jersey for now, and when the Amsterdam servers are ready, they will be moving the Euro servers back over to Amsterdam.
Interesting. So we'll see how that plays out.
It's also a little bit weird on the same article when you're talking about the current population size of the servers. Gladden is now the smallest U.S. server.
I know, Really? right?
That's so weird.
I know.
I like it.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. I'm okay with
Not
that.
Really, me
surprised
too.
that Landval is the second loaded. Second
Yeah.
most loaded.
I'm not
Yeah,
at
well,
all.
because
Randy
the
White's
thing
first,
is,
right?
was Gladden used
Yeah.
to be one of the larger ones, but then everyone was like, "Where should we go?" And then a couple people picked Arkenstone, and Arkenstone became the popular place to go. And that was it.
Yeah.
I think because Arkenstone
Yeah.
used to be was I think the smallest. Arkenstone and Crickhall were two of the smaller ones when they first announced transfers. So everyone's like, "Let's go where there's few people and it won't be crowded,"
Well, I
which made
think
it
part of
crowded.
that also, but Arkansas used to have a really big Raider community.
Hmm.
I mean, back in my day, no, I mean, back in the day when I first started playing, I remember looking on the forums and it was like every other big Raider post was coming off of Arkenstone. Like, yeah, we just beat this new instance. Where y'all from, Arkenstone? We just beat this new instance. Where y'all from, Arkenstone? So I mean, there was a lot. So I mean, I think that kind of carried through. So a lot of folks that had some of that mindset, and even some of the bigger streamers went there. Well, I don't know bigger, but some of the streamers went there. So I think that kind of got some support too.
Oh, you know what else helped them?
Ah,
Being first in the alphabet.
This is true.
that's a point.
It can be a major factor in decisions like that. Now, I know that when Arkin was deciding where to move to from Winfola, I was trying to get them not to go to Arkenstone. Well, mainly because I already have a well-established characters on Arkenstone. The last thing I needed was another group over there.
Entirely selfish reasons, of course.
Well, yes, there is
I
that.
mean, it makes
going.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
But anything else concerning the server moves before we go on? Then let's
Sorry.
discuss update 17.2, which is now on Bull Roar, and Anding posted a video discussing the new emote collection panel. And what do you think about it?
It's awesome. I'm really excited about this. You get to preview every single emote that is in the game in
Yes.
this and see your character
Oh,
do
that's
it.
cool.
And if you need a mount for the emote, the preview window will just give you a mount, and you'll be mounted up on your actual like war steed mount, or I think it's whichever mount you've been on most recently. And so that's super cool because it'll allow you to see the animation of basically what your actual outfit is. So you can see like what this emote will look like on this outfit and this other outfit. And so you can actually
You can tell that Andang is excited about this.
Yes.
this is
It was great.
I was
It's
surprised. I didn't expect it to be this detailed. And you can also see emotes that you don't have, and it won't tell you like how far away you are, but it will tell you how you can get those emotes. And so it'll give you suggestions. So no longer having to blindly guess or go onto LOTRO Wiki to decide how to get certain
and
emotes.
the great thing about being able to preview them is you can actually find out if you want to spend the time trying to figure out how to get a certain emote
Exactly.
because it's like, you know what, that looks really stupid. I don't feel like getting that emote.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's tons of sorting options, and you can even like see what store ones are. So if you want to look at those, you can preview all the store emotes. So lots of added stuff into this. I really like it.
And I
So LOTRO is
noticed
going
that
to get more expressive.
there are icons for each of the emotes, it looked like.
Yes, and you can actually drag them into your quick slot bar, and so you can have
Oh, that's
them
neat.
prepped there. So if you preview one and you like it, you can instantly just drag it to your quick slot bar, and it'll be there for you to use.
Which means I can use the little icons to replace all the shortcuts that I have set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have all those little what do you call those things? Those aliases set up.
Slash this, slash that,
Yeah,
slash
exactly.
this,
Yeah.
slash this, slash that.
Now, I didn't watch the video yet. Where does this thing sneak into the UI?
It's in the collections panel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've never used the collections panel.
It's Shift C, I think, is the
Shift
default.
C, or you can also hit the up arrow on the far left of the bottom UI, and then click collections. It's the one at the very bottom. And
Okay.
that'll allow you to see that. What I also thought was interesting is that there's now like a total emote number, which is apparently like 177, and there's a bar that shows how far you are to getting that to that, and it also includes like store emotes as well, which is kind of weird that that's included in the bars. But it's still pretty cool that if you're a completionist, there's now another thing to complete, which is emotes now.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
I'm actually excited about like the next bit, which is there's more stuff to do in Minas Tirith.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
new
good.
quests.
More quests
New
added
quests?
to Minas Tirith.
There's another thing. There's
Excellent.
a new public endgame space in the cisterns. Has anybody checked that out?
No, and I've never heard anything in LOTRO called a public endgame space,
Yeah.
which
Like
makes me wonder if
instance.
this is a totally new thing. And I wanted to look at that, and then I totally forgot. So sorry about that, everybody, but it sounds really cool. I'm excited to
Well, I
see
mean,
what it's like.
honestly, when I read that, I thought Tarlank's Crown, but in an instance.
You know, that's probably true. That's probably what it is.
Like we were talking about how like there could be this continual battle like on the fields of Pelennor. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's something like that, but like Tarlank's Crown level of difficulty, but like in an instance. So you have to go through something to get to it, and if you walk through the shimmery wall of transportiness and you get there, then you're like, wow, everything here is hard. Oh look, there's 4 other people here fighting the same things I am. It's not like I'm gonna get dead so fast, and then you just kind of go at it and do it.
Mild spoiler alert for Minas Tirith, or maybe major spoiler alert. Sam in the chat says, "What does this new area give more children to corrupt?"
Ah,
Oh!
That would be funny if
Hey,
that was part of the
drink
new
this.
public area, was just like more children to drag down into the depths
Like
of
a deed, like a new
Also-
hidden deed for child corruption or something.
apparently.
That's horrible.
Also, they added some more stable travel options, which I didn't go through because I ran a skirmish to test the champion stuff.
That is a
Um,
big
I've-
deal too.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's basically slow travel instead of
Oh,
the
is it?
quick travel.
It is, but you
That's
can
what's
walk away with slow travel. So I mean, it's still something. It's still something.
I'm okay with slow travel because it basically means that I don't have to know where I'm going.
Exactly.
I don't have to know which path to take to steer the horse from point A to point B.
And
I
you can be
just
sorting
click
through your inventory for what to
That's
sell
right.
and stuff
you
like
can
that.
do lots of stuff while you're
Mhm.
slow traveling on a horse. I'm surprised Era hasn't said yet about the other new thing.
I was saving the best for last. It says, if you have already completed all of his adventures, George at Sanson's farm might just have a new one waiting in the wings.
Yes.
Which basically,
Waiting in
you
the
go to Sanson's
wings.
farm, yeah, waiting in the wings, but the title for completing this deed is Lord of the Wings, which I think is approximately the best thing ever to hit the game. But as far as I understand it, you take a chicken to Minas Tirith, and there's a series of discovery deeds that you do, ending with jumping off the top.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
That is
I'd
cool.
like to take partial credit.
That's so awesome.
You can
I
take
think you should
complete
take partial
credit,
credit.
Arathard. You can
Total
take
credit?
complete credit.
And then, of course, it's worth noting that the barter costs for Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment have been decreased.
It's huge news.
Huge news. Huge news. It's kind of awesome.
My favorite part about these update notes is that mounted combat is going to have double melee damage and also increased for range damage as well. Finally, I feel like, especially recently, and they even said that like above, I think it was 85 or maybe it was 95, that the basically damage that you're doing on mounted combat was not scaling properly. And so they increased that, and they increased just the damage in general for mounted combat, doubled. So you should be able to be doing a ton more damage and be able to have maybe mounted combat actually be competitive to just dismounting and damaging the thing unmounted, because that's about the same speed.
See, to me, this indicates that we might have some sort of mounted combat group thing coming soon with the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Like, this seems a fitting
Maybe.
prelude to this.
Maybe. I know
Yeah.
people have been asking
It's
for this
speculation.
mounted combat change forever, since the actual inclusion way back in Riders of Rohan. So it'll be interesting to see if something comes with it. I wouldn't be too surprised if that is, but I'm looking forward to see what happens.
But yeah, a lot of the changes are really nice, especially like that Scrolls of Empowerment one is enormously huge. They talked about it in a specific post in another spot, but basically, um, depending on how you get it, it's like some of the like the, the and the silver token pieces ones that you get from killing like roving threats. The ones at Dol Amroth used to be 100, now it's 20. So
Yeah.
like it's a big change. Instead of being able to get one, maybe two, if you work at it, Scrolls of Empowerment in a reasonable days, evenings, casual play, you could get 3 or 4. It's a big difference. It really is. I'm excited.
Also, you can now the Dol Amroth endgame tokens have an exchange thing, so you can now exchange everything except for the gold tokens at a 2-to-1 ratio. So if you've got useless library tokens, you can trade them in for something that you'll actually use, like armory tokens. And the quests that you do for the various NPCs and the boxes that drop in the instances will only give you now silver tokens and tokens for the faction that you're working for, not so you don't do like armory quests and get Great Hall tokens. Which was, that was great when that was the only way to get the rep was like doing the quests, but
Yeah,
when they
it
when they
basically
didn't
lets you
have
pick. It basically lets you pick the instance you want to do, so you can still like right now you do like the bank or something. I think it's the bank is the one that has like the only one that functions like this currently, where it'll only give you bank tokens and silver tokens, which is great because you get more silver tokens for your Scrolls of Empowerment, but it is kind of annoying because bank tokens are almost useless. So you could be running like Armory instead after this update. And Armory tokens, you can get like physical mastery essences. So it's a lot more useful to kind of aim for the type of essence that you want and have it be less RNG involved in it, which is quite nice. And even if you do get other ones, you can trade those in. It basically makes it a lot easier to get the essences that you want.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of changes to like the classes and different things like that to be increasing damage or speeding things up. I do wish, and this is something that a lot of people have been wishing for, apparently burglars have been underpowered for a while now. And so it'd be nice for that to turn around because they have been in a really bad spot kind of since Helm's Deep, They had a little bit of a reprieve for a bit, but for the most part, since Helm's Deep, they've had just not very good balance compared to some of the other classes. So it'd be nice if they got an update in the near future. That's the only thing that I was wishing that would be in this update.
Yeah. Well,
One-
burglar is one of the few classes that you really have to know what you're doing to play well.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good
But
idea.
even people
'Cause-
who have been playing like well and been playing like I know people who only play burglars and know them very well, and they even say that it's way underpowered from what it should be. So
Well, they are, but I mean, champion is underpowered compared to like every other class in the game.
right, but if you look at
You know, people talk about they're supposed. You know, I keep hearing in the Twitch chat when I'm in Twitch chat, oh, I hear that they're going to be nerfing minis. Well, so minis could take a nerf and still be more overpowered than half the classes in the game.
Here, the thing is like, underpowered is such a relative term.
Yeah.
it is.
Burglars and champions are underpowered compared to the other classes, but that's not because burglars and champions are underpowered compared to the content. They're not,
I don't know if
from what I've seen.
From what I've seen,
It's-
I think burglars could make an argument about being underpowered.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends, but
Burglars
Particularly
are
with
extremely
ratings
swift.
stuff.
some things are a pretty decent sized buff. Like for minstrels, the soliloquy of spirit is it's an immediate skill, and it puts a small heal over time. You can stack it to 3, and it's always had like this little bit of lag time after you use it, so that you can't just spam it and interrupt other skills and things like that. And they're removing that. And like speaking as a minstrel, it's like, oh, that's nice. I can basically spam more heals more often. But at the same time, I'm like, no, because
Yeah. It's
more
always
heals, like it's not necessary.
It's
But, like,
always tough
they're
to
nice
have
things,
something
but it's
be
like,
nerfed.
ooh. They're changes that basically make some skills faster and easier to execute.
Yeah.
Are they needed? No. Are they nice? Yeah. Will they make the class more powerful? Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, some things, but it'll be interesting to see how the changes bear out, if there's any difference. I'm thinking, especially from like a Moors standpoint, like burglars are great in the Moors.
And I'm guessing that these class changes are probably in prep to the level cap being increased because they need a good base before they, expand another 5 levels, I think, for the next group content.
True.
Yeah, and actually, Sam said something in the chat again. He's like, only burglars have more or less one hit killed you in the end, whereas a burglar can like a good burglar can put a bleed on you, disappear, pop out again, coup de grace, and disappear again, and you're dead.
Yeah.
It's a matter of waiting until you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good burglar can do that. Not all of them can, and some of them aren't very good. But if you get a good burglar or 2 burglars that know what they're doing and get the jump on you, there's really nothing. I mean, you can try to kill them before you die, but yeah, I mean, in every class is powerful in its own right in its own specific circumstance. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works.
I would be really interested, in fact, because Kaylee Starshine mentioned in her comment that we read last week that burglars are like one of the few classes, possibly the only class in the game, where you literally have to fire all of your skills within seconds of each other. You have to be really, really on top of what your skills are. And I play a burglar on Tuesdays, so I'm familiar with this issue. And I actually think, so I would be interested if listeners would put in the comments. For people who prefer the clicking method versus the keyboard method, I'm a keyboard player,
Mm-hmm.
and it means that my skills tend to fire very quickly when I'm on a character that can do that sort of thing. I can, because Carve can attest to this. They run with my burglar, and Maven too. They run with my burglar. When she's in damage mode and she actually gets to line up her shots, like Terry's actually awake and not half asleep halfway through the instance, I can pretty much wreck stuff. Yeah. And that group runs with lore masters and a rune keeper and Carve's champion, and I can go through and I can just wreck things, provided I have the opportunity to do it. And a lot of that is because my fingers are on those number keys, and all of my skills are like 1, 2, 3, 4 in my my direction are the arrows. I actually don't even use the mouse at all when I'm in the burglar mode. So I'd be curious to know if there are burglars who prefer the clicky method, because I don't.
Yeah, it's like a warg. With a warg, you can play clicking, but the way the skills work, where you'll have interrupts and things like that, to play a warg effectively, you have to use your interrupts.
Yes.
And like iRake or whatever it is, iRake interrupts itself, so you have to double click, like double tap it basically.
Yep.
And it'll
And
interrupt its own animation, which people
it's
complain
easier
about all
to
the
do it if you've got it on the keyboard instead of on the mouse.
Yeah,
Like,
if you're doing it keyboard, you can, I mean, you can put out a lot of damage. I've had people accuse me of macroing, which I find hilarious and an honor. But it's not like
That's
I
called not
can't
macroing. It's called mashing your keys, people. That's how I play.
in the correct order and quickly. I think playing piano, because up to like 6.5 years of piano, it's like an elaborate piano thing.
Yeah,
But
I don't have piano, but I used to work at a call center, and my cube mates would accuse me of sleeping because I would get migraines and I'd sit there with my eyes closed. But I can actually type on a keyboard with my eyes closed because I know where those keys are.
Mhm.
And I've had other people find that completely fascinating. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm typing, and like not making typos. Like I
Yeah.
can touch type.
It's I personally, because I'm used to it, I can't picture trying to do that and balancing interrupts and quickly firing off skills.
Well, I couldn't play LOTRO with my eyes closed. I kind of got to know what I'm doing.
I've done it before. It's hilarious.
But I actually probably could get away with playing my Berg without my UI on.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that tomorrow.
Oh boy. But like I can't picture trying to click through things. So I don't know, like some of these changes. It'd be interesting to see, to take, and dang, here's an idea for the next poll. We could see who, like, do you tend to click your skills? Do you tend to use a keyboard for your skills? Because I don't know, it'd be interesting
You
to
do
see
some combination, because some
Yeah, or
people
some
I've
combination.
seen some people do combinations.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, 'cause
Right.
I feel like that might make a difference for the ease of like some skills, like Soliloquy of Spirit. If you tend to click your skills, that might not make a huge difference. But if
The
you
only
tend to
yeah.
use
The
your
only
keyboard, it might.
the only thing where I heavily use the keyboard is with the builders for the warden.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's possible to do the builders for a warden. I know it's literally possible to do it with the mouse, but the keyboard is 1,000 times easier on the for the warden, I think, than on the. And I'm someone who clicks just about everything else.
Hmm.
All right, how about let's
It'd be
go?
interesting to see. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's go to
We've gotten
store
totally off
sales.
topic.
Oh, one final thing.
What?
One final thing. The flirt emote now correctly plays the flirt sound for all races.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that or not.
I haven't flirted with any inanimate objects yet, and I'm too scared to do it to another player.
I saw a video
Go
of
do
this.
it on Boror. You can do it on Boror, and it'll show you what the sound sounds like. It's pretty.
There are some
pretty-
interesting sounds that
Isn't it like?
may or may not keep a
Kinda
teen
stuff like
rating.
that?
Can we
No,
just, like,
they're just really
patch that
weird sounds. I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I'm curious to see what dwarf flirting sounds like.
I'm not.
Yes.
Car, we don't need you to also make that.
Let's head into store sales.
Good idea,
okay.
Pine.
A free sample this week, January 8th through the 14th. Max Morale and Power Scroll ×1. Use coupon code that you can find in the show notes, one time per account. Also, 20% off expansions and expansion quests, skirmishes and instances, enhanced XP supply, token of the Hornburg, and mark acquisition boosts. Yay! Yay, good sale. Thank you, QU. Shout out to QU, because that's an awesome sale.
Yeah, this is a really good sale.
Good stuff.
Then let's head into our Lotro Players News segment. And this week's Lotro Players News is brought to you by a sales orc.
Yeah, Greater Mordor Insurance. Excuse me. Giant hobbit infestation? Bloodstained ward carpet damage? Oliphant footprint on your battle wagon? We got it covered. Talk to Greater Mordors. We've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything. We are Mordors.
Yeah.
And apparently the wargs do the Allstate commercial. Okay, good to know.
Wonderful. Greater Mordor's Insurance.
Yes, let's head into the players' news now, and let's begin with our community events for January 8th through 14th. And this week, well, the biggest thing that's actually next week technically. Next week is winter stock, but this week
Yes, next
is it,
weekend.
yes, anything here that someone finds interesting that went to highlight?
Um, I do want to cover Winterstock a little bit more. It is on the 15th through the 18th, which is this coming weekend, especially if you're listening on Monday. This is the coming weekend. And so it's going to be awesome. There's 41 bands. It's over at Thorin's Gate on Landerville. And you guys should just go and listen to awesome music, especially if you've never been to any type of these events. They are awesome and definitely worth at least seeing what they're all about.
Then we will head into Tales of the Free Folk, Episode 8, No Stone Unturned.
Which was awesome.
It was
I
awesome.
believe that those stones were not given a chance to rest.
It is a lot more fun being a player.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more
Probably a
fun
lot
for
less
you guys too.
It's good stuff.
Probably
You
more
check it
stressful
out.
for Greymaster having to be a player too.
Yeah, it's definitely more stressful for Greymaster, but you know, he can take it. It's fine.
It's fine. And we also have an epilogue. I don't recall there being epilogues before.
This is the second epilogue, and I haven't read it, and I started to read it, and now I'm like, dang it, I'm checking out of the podcast as of now.
I read it
Because
earlier.
the
Pretty
first
awesome.
like the first epilogue, like this is the second epilogue that has been about like the last group of folks and my character and Becca's character. And this is like, whoa, this is like the end of our story, and I don't know what happens, and I'm curious to find out.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
8
really
pages
cool.
later,
Oh,
Arithur
okay.
joined back into the podcast.
Yeah, basically.
I guess I should go read that one. Then.
I will do my best to save reading this until afterwards. I didn't know that's what this was. I thought it was the same epilogue that I'd read, but it's
No.
not. It's part 2.
No, the other one
No,
was a
it's
prologue. This one is an epilogue. We have had an epilogue before, but it was to episode 6 or 7, I believe. So this is the epilogue for episode 8, and
That's
it
so
is
exciting.
it is basically a conclusion to the prologue into episode 8. So it's really good.
Tell me now,
According
do I
to
die again?
Greymaster today, they are going to be epilogues going forward. For those who are Tales of the Free Folk fans, and everybody should be at this point, Greymaster did a stream earlier today. He went inside the Free Folk on his stream, and it's supposed to be coming out on YouTube at some point. So keep an eye on the Twitters for that, because I'm going to try and retweet it all over the place when it happens. He went in depth into mechanics and story and all that other fun stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we might want to actually make a article about that. Send that to me when it comes up, Terry. I'll be sure to put that on
Yeah,
Lotra
when it
Players.
hits YouTube.
We finally have LOTRO Academy episode 113. Plug in.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that we had recorded this episode before Halloween until I was listening to it again.
Yes. Our plug-in recommendations, and yes, it was recorded back
End of
last
October, yeah.
back in October, and unfortunately Brannick got very, very busy after that and hadn't had time to actually edit it until now. It's now edited, it's now posted, and if you want to hear our recommendations for plugins, go and listen to it.
Yeah,
There are
this
some
is an awesome
really good
episode.
ones. Yeah.
And I'm really excited about what I've heard from Brannick about what is coming up. I don't know if he wants me to actually spoil any of the stuff that's coming up, but there is going to be a change in how LOTRO Academy is working, and it's going to be for the better, and I'm super excited about it. So,
Stay tuned, because that episode we recorded last night, and the episode will be out on Wednesday.
yeah, I am very excited. So be sure to listen to LOTRO Academy on Wednesday. And also listen to this one because it's awesome too. So, cool.
The best part is that underneath there's links to every single one of these plugins.
Yes,
Make
you're
it
welcome.
really easy.
You're welcome.
But yeah, this is
We
a
had given
really, really
links
good
to
plugin.
Brannick and they got lost. So I went through and I listened to it and I recompiled the list.
Go, Terry.
Yeah.
Then let's head into our poll for this week, and the poll is: should there be more cosmetic options in LOTRO? And I could hear Terry Adwin's answer already.
You might be surprised because mine was the one that won actually, which is more
Yeah.
cosmetics are always good.
So,
Not just a flat yes, just more cosmetics are always good.
well, I know flat yes wasn't one of the options.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Well, yes, I could look better was one of the options, and not one.
Yes, but flat yes, I said wasn't one of the options.
Fair
well,
enough,
It's a flat
Pine
You
Leaf.
guys
yes
are all
with a little
feisty
bit of a
tonight.
twist.
Yeah,
My good.
Pine Leaf is
feisty
just,
group.
man.
So you're saying it's special?
So when he says skirmisher of Middle Earth, he means like feisty
Brawler of Middle Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we did ask, should there be more cosmetic options in LOTRO? And with 84 votes, 50% of the population that were polled in this that answered said more cosmetics are always good, which is the Terry answer.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's the
Terry
least
answer.
committal answer.
Also, the Maven answer.
Pretty
It's also
much.
the error answer.
But I think it's also like I get this vision of someone's vault just filled to the brim with like cosmetics to the point where like they start asking like the vault guards, "Can you just hold on to this for a few months if that's at all possible?" That'd be great.
Every
just
single
gonna-
time I go through Dunland. Every
My
time.
shared storage is full of dye. My wardrobe is full of cosmetics. I have four characters that are cosmetic storage, and the kin house and my personal house, the chests are devoted to cosmetics.
Oh my.
In this
Yeah.
new season
And
of Hoarders,
that's actually
we
less
take a look.
crazy than some of the other stuff that I've heard.
In this new season of Hoarders, we take a look at the Lord of the Rings online, where there's players hoarding tons and tons of cosmetics. Anyway,
Yes, most games have gold mules. In LOTRO, we have cosmetic mules.
Yes, yes, that's
Pretty
exactly
much.
right.
that is
That's
true.
what it
That is true.
It seems like every time I get further into the game, I start looking at gear going, ooh, I've never seen that before. I'm going to hold on to that. I look at Carvette's vault, and it's like 50% cosmetic stuff I picked up throughout the levels. So I'm like, I need to craft somewhere.
I think my favorite. I've never really kept things for the names. Like I've kept some things for cosmetic purposes, and I do have some like a cosmetic chest in my vault. But I'm not as crazy as Terry. But like I have started to look at things cosmetically on my minstrel as I'm leveling him. I kept Turd Ring the other day for the name.
Turd ring.
It's an axe, I think. It's like an axe. I was like,
That's
okay.
awesome.
It looked cool, but I'm keeping that one forever.
Turd ring.
I don't have a chest slotted for awesome named items. Well, we'll see.
You put Turd ring right along with the petrified go dropping
Yeah.
for Moria.
So anyway, the second option, which we're just now to, is yes, I could look better with 27%. And then third with 10% is I don't have time to worry about cosmetics. And next
I
up
feel
is
sorry
no.
for all of those characters.
I'm sorry too. Next up is no, I already look awesome with 9%. And then with 2%, there are cosmetic options. And with 2% with 3 votes, which is one less than the previous one, other.
I feel like that one with like the cosmetic options, this is what happened inside Terry's head.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I'm going through, like, even by myself, and I run across somebody, and it's like, what are you wearing?
Buy equipped items.
I just imagine Terry Adwin like sending cosmetics to people, not even knowing who they are, and just being like, "I saw you. You didn't look very
That's gonna
good."
be my new thing. It's gonna be my new thing for the new year. I'm gonna pick
Oh.
a new player every week.
That would be
that's a
so
fashion challenge
awesome.
and just make them an outfit.
I would follow
Oh
a
my
series
gosh.
if you took like screenshots of like before and after, like ask them to like meet up with you. That would be awesome.
Middle Earth makeover. Yeah.
Can you
Middle Earth
imagine
makeover.
LOTRO Fashion Police.
Terry Adwin edition.
What not to wear in Middle Earth? Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
your champion needs a serious makeover. Come on, guys, we're gonna
Or go
hook
through their
him
wardrobe.
up.
Throw this away. Throw this away. Throw
Yeah,
this away.
exactly.
Yes,
The,
yes.
yes, the
We're going to Lalia's. Come on.
I was just thinking.
No,
You
I
remember?
see. I don't shop at Lalia's. I try to, as much as possible,
As a skirmish
either
camp.
get
They
stuff
should
from
do
the skirmish camp because skirmish camp is awesome.
Yeah.
I use stuff from the outfitters. I try to find pieces that are readily accessible to everybody because not everybody has access to Mithril coins. I know they drop from the Hobbit presents if you're really lucky. For me, I got 200 Mithril coins on Laurelin, which I don't play on anymore. So I've never ever gotten Mithril coins dropped in a Hobbit present on Langeville. Never. Since they started Hobbit presents, I'll get them on every other character in small amounts. I've never gotten them on Landreval.
So this is like Middle Earth budget makeover too.
Yeah, so it's budget makeover. So I'm always really careful. I'll use pieces you can get from the skirmish camp. I keep an eye out for bind on equip gear that drops from the landscape because you can always toss that in the wardrobe for single use and then remove it when you're done. Which is what I tend to do for like chest and legging pieces that you're not always using on every character. My wardrobe is actually mostly full of accessories, so like hats, shoulder pieces, gloves, boots, that sort of thing. They're easily mix matchable. Not a whole lot of chest pieces. So yeah, when I did Quartermaster U for his Runekeeper that he streams on Mondays, I put that together. It took me an hour and a half, and I was scouring because that was on Brandywine, which is a server I barely play on at all. I think Terry Adwin over there is maybe level 22. So I didn't have the marks to buy stuff with. I didn't have a whole lot of money. I didn't have dye. I was like getting people who actually play on the server. I was like, could you loan me the dye so I could make this outfit so I can send it to QU's character, please? So
you
yeah.
seriously could. You seriously could do a Twitch stream / YouTube uploaded afterwards Middle Earth makeover series.
Totally.
That would be. I would watch that, and I don't even care about cosmetics too much. I get characters'
Funny,
cosmetics,
I could
and
just see
they're
her,
like, I get it set, and that's it, and I never touch them again. And then I like swap between them every now and then, but like that's it.
I can see Terry like charging people down and in game tail spamming them like, "Oh, your outfit's atrocious. Let me help."
Well, and cosmetic weapons have just made it worse because now I have to preview every piece of gear that drops. Everything has to be previewed before I decide whether it gets thrown away or not.
Well, and I
That's
imagine
true, 'cause
people
you
like
never know.
coming from a far away, they're like, I came all the way from Brandywine just to get the cosmetic revamp from Terry Adwin. And like,
You remember the days when we used to have the fashion maven every once in a while sting
Yeah.
around and breathe?
Terry could be that, but different.
The new fashion maven of Lotro.
There you go.
Sorry, Maven.
Yeah, it's like, who's the real Maven now?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Actually, Maven is my assistant.
I
Ah.
am. It's true.
there you go. That works.
It's true.
She points me at people.
Ah. She's a. Oh.
I'm her
She
agent.
laughs as she points.
I try not to.
in the all new
I'm like,
season
Terry, there's somebody who needs you.
in the all new
We
season of
could be
Terry
like
Adwin
that
Hoarders.
couple. We could be like that couple on what not to wear, right? And we surprise them, like they walk into the Prancing Pony, and we're right there by Barnum and Butterbur saying, "Hello, you don't know this, but your kinmates have asked us to come."
We have a fashion intervention. Oh my goodness.
I just imagine there being like a promo like, this season, the worst fashion disaster yet, but Terry Adwin's on the job with blah blah blah.
That's right.
Tell you what, man, I have been on the receiving end of Terry Edwin's fashion commentary. I'm like, really?
I'm like, that's just hurtful. There needs to be like a support group, like we've been helped
Yeah,
by
man,
Terry
stop
Adwin
it.
but didn't want it.
Horrible.
Or
Yeah,
we've
no.
been dissed by Terry Adwin. That would be the other group.
Yeah. Carve's champion, I think it was, has an outfit that I was like, I can't even be seen with you right now. My burglar disappeared.
That was my birthday
Was
suit.
that you or was that Ray?
No, that was me. No, actually, come to think about it, it might have been both of us on different nights. Because Ray had that really crazy red and gold gaudy Heligrod thing going
Yeah.
on. We were like, no. He's like, I like these shoulders. Yeah.
All right, and everybody's here's it first. This is a show in the making.
Middle Earth makeover.
That's right.
Middle Earth. Let us then proceed to the family line. Part 74, Secrets of the Scepter. And
Okay.
once again, of course, you really can't say too much without major spoilers.
Just go read it.
Well, considering how the scepter is like the age-old symbol of authority and numinos and whatnot, could be very interesting.
Indeed.
Of course, whenever he says secrets of the scepter, in my brain, I'm going secrets of the universe. Secrets of the scepter. Ooh, ah.
So we're all glad we're not in Carv's brain.
Right.
Yes.
We
Nobody
also
wants to be in my brain.
we also have the House of Bjorn, chapter 13.
You know, the lucky
And
number.
yes, and because of that, they decided they needed to put an interlude after the episode.
It would have been interesting if he did like interlude between 12 and 14 and just didn't name it. Kind of like hotels where they don't put level 13 just to be safe.
I guess that could work. Then let's head into a critter's journey. This critter is going to have quite a journey if he decides to try a trip to Minas Tirith.
That's
Yeah,
a long
that's a fun
journey.
trip. I think I should get it awarded. I was going to say posthumously, but that's totally the wrong word.
Like your chicken didn't survive. Posthumously kind of works.
Posthumously would be. I was trying. You have to think of the Latin word for chicken. It's the.
I don't know.
Cluckius.
Pollo loco. That's
Clucky?
what it is. It's a pollo loco.
Pas pollo?
Pas
Oh,
pollo.
boy.
Yes. There you go.
Let's head into our new player question for the weekend. Maven, what's up this time?
This week's question is actually brought to us through Aerithert,
Nice.
a suggestion, right? Which is, I've gotten to level 100, yay! How do I go about gearing up?
This is a great question. I
This is-
really want to know.
This is something somebody sent me some messages on Twitter, basically being like this: the instances for the training exercise, they were getting wrecked in them because you start off with the library, and the library is not the easiest one. You'd
Oh
think
my
it's-
gosh,
Library is
libraries.
horrible.
So they were having a hard time. So what would you guys recommend being a progression to get to the point where you can do that? Because if you just jump in with what your level 95 gear, you're probably not going to do too well in that, to be honest.
Right,
No.
true.
Well, first of all, have they done any kind of group content at all yet? Because if not, then that would be my first suggestion, is just to get used to working to other players and understanding how that type of dynamic works. If you've already done that, then you're already where most players are, and you can go on to doing instances in kind of their order. I recommend starting with skirmish raids, because those are actually not too challenging unless you do Isaac or Voss. And typically most of the other players know exactly what to do, and they don't necessarily need all 12 players to be there to do the raid successfully.
Mhm.
And so skirmish raids are probably the easiest group content to do without people freaking out about like you not doing things right or something like that.
Or even skirm groups like 3 and 6.
Skirm groups smaller as well would be good.
Because
And
the skirmish armor, the armor you can get at a skirmish camp for level 100 is not too bad, actually. You can kind of make do with that, and it is an upgrade from level 95 gear for sure.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I've also heard it said that if you happen to be stockpiling your Hobbit present Matham armors,
Mm-hmm.
if you do a full set of Matham gear at 100, it's pretty decent for what it is,
It is.
until you
Oh,
can
that's
get
a good
other
idea.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Also, like doing things like so like probably the first thing to do would be to head yourself to a skirm camp, and just get a set of level 100 armor and jewelry and things like that is important. I always forget to upgrade my jewelry as I check my armor leveling. I've noticed with my minstrel, I'm always forgetting to check my jewelry, and I've got stuff. I was like 20 or 30 levels ahead of it, and I was like, oh, this could be upgraded.
That could make a difference.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
Just a
it
little
does.
bit.
but so probably a skirm camp, a set of skirm camp or hobbit present armor would be the good first spot. And then actually the like teal drops from things like Sambrog,
Hmm.
you can get a group of level 100 people together to do that, especially now that it's with 17.2, it's going to be increased in difficulty and also in marks and medallion rewards. So I'm sure people will be running that, especially a lot soon. You can get into that, and odds are you'll get 2 or 3 pieces in half an hour running it. 2 or 3 pieces of teal level 100 armor, which is actually quite nice. You can do a lot of stuff with that armor if you get a full set of it.
I
That's
know
another good
nobody
spot
wants to
start.
hear these 2 words, but for jewelry at level 100, epic battles.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
it's true.
nobody wants to hear me say that, but
it's
it's
true.
honestly
It's
true.
true.
It's
That's
some of the
some good
best
jewelry.
shinies in the game is from epic battles.
And now that I mean, for the longest time, you'd have to do a lot of them to get one piece. But now with the new Minas Tirith epic battles, you can get, realistically speaking, close to 100 um, like bits of like the Stars of
The
Merit.
Stars of Merit,
Get
yeah.
close to 100 of those every single time you run it. So if you run each of them, that's almost 200 Stars of Merit. And that, I mean, you can get, it's a lot faster to get that set now than it used to be at level 100, which helps a lot. Like
And
ultimately, like
The
if you
Gondor
want
epic
to do
battles
it,
in general, like Pelargir and then the new Minas Tirith ones are so much better than Helm's Deep.
And then I know that one of the epic instances in Gondor, the one where you have to kill the Nazgul, drops
Mhm.
essences. So you can get
Yep.
essence, and I mean I ran that like 5 times. I mean, however many the limit was. There, I think they put a limit on how many times you could run it in a day, but a
In an
friend of mine
hour.
told me that people in an hour, people used to grind that all the time to get essences, and we got some pretty decent ones. So that's another
Yeah.
place you can get essences.
It's only the
in
Fellowship
general.
version, but
yeah.
you can
Right.
go
That's
through
right.
that
To
with
do a
2 or 3
fellowship.
people.
That's right.
I've
That's
never
right.
had any luck with that. I always get dropped like minor essence of power or something.
I actually got a
I've
couple
gotten
of
some
really
good
nice
ones
essence
actually.
drops.
You guys are lucky. I've never in the past X number of years that I've been at Cap and running that to get essences because people keep telling me they do that. I've never once gotten a good essence from doing that.
We ran it like 4 or 5 times. It was definitely a Girls of Middle Earth prequel. It was me and 4
Yeah,
girls from Lonely
I
Mountain
mean, that's
Band. It was
something
awesome.
I've run it a dozen times at a time till I hit the cap 1 hour just to see if, if I could,
And
because
you
that's
did
something that,
really?
yeah, it's
Mm.
something I'm able to solo that.
Yeah, it's definitely an RNG type of thing because
Yeah.
some people get
And
good
I
stuff.
think
Some
if
people
you
get
do it
junk.
with a full group, you have better luck because you can swap essences. There's like one essence
Yeah.
drop for each
Right.
person, and oh, that's useful to you, but not to me, type of thing.
Right.
So maybe that was it. I don't know,
and
but
if you
Well,
ultimately,
the underlying theme I'm hearing here is groups. The
Yes.
way to get your
yes,
gear is groups,
with
either to
groups,
get the marks and medallions or to get, the essences through the thing. So that's,
yeah.
and then once you have your gear, if you want to, you can go back to the training instances and maybe have better luck, right?
Well, if
Yeah.
you've been doing a large number of skirmishes during the lower levels, you might have enough marks accumulated to at least get
That's true.
some gear to tide you over from the skirmish camp before worrying about the other sources.
Yeah,
That's
and honestly, if you get a full set of level 100 gear from skirmish camp, that will most likely make a pretty decent sized difference
yeah.
for those training instances. Because the Dol Amroth, that stuff, it is solo.
right. You
Yeah,
have to
the
do,
actual training
yeah,
instances.
Yeah,
I
you
really
yeah,
wish
can't
they
do.
would make them at least a duo instance
I know.
Yeah,
to be
but
able to do it in a duo if you really wanted to.
ultimately, it is a baby steps thing. So like,
Yeah.
what can you do right now to improve the pieces of gear that you have, and then do that, and then try
How
take on the
about
challenge again. You know?
how about gilded armor? I mean, if you've got a buddy
Yeah,
who has a
yeah.
tailor and stuff, I mean, or a metalsmith or whatever you need
The
for,
stuff the stuff now is essence slot armor, but that
right.
like the new gilded armor depend for some classes and some roles it's even better than the 4 slot. Like if you're a guardian and you're more of a morale tank guardian, you like to stack morale, the new 3 slot crafted armor is better than the four
Really?
slot Dolamarth armor. Yeah.
Huh.
It's not as good as the 5 slot, but it's better than the 4 slot because the
Right.
the 4 slot stuff has a passive of a book
Oh,
of
right,
light.
right. Okay.
So
Yeah, I have the 5 slot, so I was
yeah,
kind of
and the
disappointed.
three
It
slot
was like
stuff
looking
has
at
a
my
passive
gilded
of like
stuff. It's
fate
like,
and morale. I don't have morale stack gear on my Guardian. I like to do more. Like I put morale stuff on my jewelry. I got a weird setup, but like for Guardians, it's who like to have that style tanking. It's better. And honestly, that's probably your best bet at cap is to do epic battles, to do those sorts of things, and to get the essences, or even like you could probably find some reasonably cheap major and minor ones on the auction house
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
slot those in the crafted gear and be
Hmm.
much better off than you were. So find like a kinmate or someone in chat who is friendly and will make you the stuff. Because right now, like when it was first coming out, you could get good amount of gold for the new bits of crafted stuff. But now, like everyone's already maxed out their tiers of crafting and they've got more like ore than they know what to do with. They'll make it for you for free most likely, if you ask nicely. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the easiest way to get geared up is to find a way to get the essences and have a friend make the crafted stuff, and you're good to go.
And if you still want to advance even further after that, or you feel like you could be a little bit more powerful, there's also all the trait deed grinding and all the class skill point deed grinding now that that's a
Mhm.
thing.
Deeds will make a difference.
So yeah, deeds can be a huge help.
Virtues will help.
And,
Yep.
and what you do when you get to 100 is start to prep for 105 later
Right.
this
Yeah.
year.
Exactly. I almost said that at the start. Just wait for 105 because that's coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back and catch up on your deeds, your S's, and your traits and stuff, and then your
Yeah.
virtues. That
'Cause
way
that will
you'll
be
have
helpful
those
permanently.
passives. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
dude.
Cool. Awesome. Very complete answer.
Then let's head into our week in Lotro. And Carvet, what have you been up to?
I get to go first. Okay. Speaking of firsts, for the first time ever, I got Mrs. Carve to heal our group in the Great Barrows, not on a hunter. She was actually healing, and it was fun because we heard crazy comments like, "Why am I trying to res you? You're not dead." And a little heal for
That was
you,
awesome.
and a little heal for you, and oh, you get a big heal, and a little heal, and oh, look, a bubble, it's shiny. Little heal for you, and so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Between her heals and my captain shouting, we muddled through it. It was awesome.
That's funny.
I had fun running Iobar's Peak as a duo with a Mini and a Bayo with Erithert. That giant was dizzy after chasing Era's little hobbit, Mini, and my bear streaking. Great stuff. I also really enjoyed streaming. I just discovered that, I didn't discover it, but it was kind of made apparent to me again, is I really enjoy streaming with Mrs. Carr. She snuck into the room earlier this morning during the latter parts of my free-to-play stuff with InoPay, and it's just more entertaining when she's involved. I think I'm kind of boring sometimes, but when there's an audience,
so
it's
romantic.
wild. It's just fun.
That's romantic.
So yeah, it was fun. So
Aw.
that was it. Yeah.
This Carve is hilarious.
See,
Yeah.
the-
She is really funny.
Like literally
the-
hearing that alone, I wanted to go back and watch the stream just because I know she's in it, and it's always hilarious when she's in it.
Yeah, it's like towards the latter half of the early morning because I did two today because I was risking things. I started one and then I stopped for an hour and then I did another one.
Ooh.
So, like the second half of the first one and then bits and pieces of the first half of the second one, where when she was like making comments in the background and stuff. And it's funny because she has a very interesting perspective on parenting. And so whenever she starts talking with people about what their kid did or what our kids are doing, she will make the comments that I'm just like, oh my God. She'd have to kind of hear it. Interesting. So Andang, how was your week?
Well, I had a very busy week actually. I didn't do too much Lotro stuff. Real life called this week. But I did spend an obnoxious amount of time because I forgot how long this takes, working on my top 25 Lotro videos of all time article. After doing Lotro video highlights for 2 years, it's finally time to wrap the series up and be working on this article that I've been working towards from the beginning to have basically the top Lotro videos all in one single article that I can just direct people to and show them that there's just this awesome content that people are creating. And so really excited about this post. It will not be this coming week, but it'll be the week after that when it comes up. So really excited. Takes a ton of time.
And my question to you is, how many videos were there in all?
There were over 100 that were featured in the series. Not to mention the thousands that I didn't pick in the highlights because there's Let's Plays and all sorts of other stuff that I did research on. So, yeah, tons of videos that I've watched for this series. So, anyway, Maven, what have you been up to?
Well, besides running around Frostbluff, which I do that as much as possible during the festival, I wished my Gladden lore master. This is not one of the characters that I was asking about a couple weeks ago. That's still I haven't done that yet. But this one I took up to level 95 and with the Blessing of the Valor upgrade, and I'm having fun running around Middle Earth without worrying about getting killed. It's so awesome, and I'm kind of looking forward. Right now I'm doing stuff back in Eriador because I want to be picking up the trait points that are still outstanding and whatnot. But I'm really looking forward to going through Rohan. My intention really is to kind of stroll through Rohan and do some of is still follow the story and stuff, but just do it without having to worry about getting killed all the time. And then Erether, we can go to Freepside. Yay! I watched Grifflet. Grifflet got taken to Frostbluff. We took Corey to his very first festival. Corey Olson, the Tolkien professor, otherwise known as Grifflet, on his Friday LOTRO stream. The kin took him to Frostbluff. It was his very first festival he'd ever been to. And so we ran him through different things. We really wanted him to see the play, and he really enjoyed the play a lot. He thought it was really interesting that they picked a dwarf to be the supervillain dude. But anyway, but it was like he totally agreed that was completely believable that hobbits would, like the gossip mill would create a story like this. It was really funny. Anyhow, so then we ran him through and we did a snowball fight, which was fun. And then we ran him through just some of the simpler quests, and we did the emergency keg, and it was pretty funny because we were in a raid by this time because there were so many guineas that showed up, so this huge line of people with kegs coming down the thing there. Anyway, we showed him how to do it. We all jumped over, and when he jumped over, his keg didn't disappear. Everybody else's kegs disappeared, and Grifflet's keg didn't disappear. And I was crying. I was laughing so hard because if you know Grifflet, he's just hilariously funny. So he's running all over the place with this thing, and then he climbs up on the wall, and he's like beating the dwarf on top of the keg over the head, going, "Hey, buddy, don't you want my beer?" It was just, I wish I could have taped it because I totally would have published it. It was really funny. And then he got himself, if you guys watched the stream on Friday live, he got himself he's now equipped with 2 holiday mugs with his party outfit. So he's all set, with his equipment. And then I completed my first Moria crafting instance. I hadn't done those. Carvin Company had done one or more, I don't know how many, but I was busy with Mythgard on that night, and I was really bummed because I always wanted to do those crafting instances in Moria that the Lothlorien elves have you do. And so we finished 2/3 of it with the Academy, and then Terry and Pine and the rest had to go off and do the Academy podcast. So I finished up the last third with the remainders, and it was really fun, interesting. I had never done those before, so it was really cool. So anyway.
Do people really call them crafting instances? Because whenever someone says crafting instance, I always think of the resource instances.
I think they're the
guess
Lorien crafting instances, aren't they? They are
about
crafting
the halls of crafting.
Yeah, the halls of
Halls of
crafting.
Crafting.
Yeah, that's an
That's
actual 6-man dungeon. It's not.
Yeah,
really
I
crafting
know about
per
that.
se.
Yeah, because the crafting instances, I think of a certain set of
Yeah,
solo
there's like
instances.
one where you can go in there solo and grab wood or
Yeah, right.
scholar mats,
Right.
depending on which one you
Right.
do. Yeah, okay.
I didn't
Halls
remember
of
what they were
crafting.
specifically called, but Halls of Crafting, yeah.
Yeah, Halls of Crafting. That one's interesting. It's got some
It is.
interesting.
And there's 2 other ones
mechanics
there
in there.
too, right? So just
Well,
be
the 2
warned.
other
Those
ones are 3-mans, and that's
That
Oh, are they?
instance-
Oh, okay.
that's the mirror halls and the water wheels.
That instance is really good. Even at Cap, I know quite a few people who solo it every day to get
Really?
the IXP out of it.
Yeah,
Because
it
those
does tend
chests
to
drop
drop a lot
so
of
much
IXP
of it.
runes.
Yeah, you can if you take a new legendary item, like if you have one free slot, I have only one free slot on my Guardian, and you get it, you slot it, and you use the scroll from the last one to get it up to 52 or whatever.
Right.
One run through that plus all the drops, you usually get it pretty much maxed out.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
That's
quite nice.
amazing. Well, it's really interesting. We even succeeded in doing the challenge, which was kind of cool because normally I don't even pay attention to the challenges. So yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed that. So Terry, other than what I've already shared, what did you do this week?
Well, I missed an opportunity to get a screenshot of Stabitha with Murder and Bree because I totally forgot that I was going to do that. And Stabitha transferred to Gladden this week.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, it was sad. It's all
Yay,
Anding's
Gladden!
fault. It's all Anding's fault.
I did. You're the one
Um,
that transferred. No, don't put this on me.
No, because I said a couple of times that we had to do it, and you just never logged her in, so it's totally your fault.
You never
Fight.
dragged
Um,
me over there.
fight.
I'm
So
just saying.
Stabitha transferred to Gladden with some wardrobe shinies. So my Gladden characters have some new wardrobe items that they'll be able to pick from, which is super awesome. I attempted to lead the field trip through the halls of crafting. It didn't go so well.
That was
Um,
great. We only wiped
It went it went
6, 7
it went
times, but it wasn't
great
your fault.
after we left you apparently because we wiped I think we were up to
Well,
5 before
and
we
poor
ended up.
Terry. I was a real big help. My little hobbit hunter was a super help. Terry would go out, and I would like throw some traps down, and a couple times it'd be like, "Oops, I threw the trap too far," and I'd aggro the people. So I was real helpful. I'm sure Terry was real thrilled to have me along.
Yeah, and I was trying to tank that instance, so I was like, don't shoot anything
tough.
until I've had a chance to make it really mad first.
It's
Because,
a tough instance. I mean, we wiped within the first 30 seconds we got in.
the first 30 seconds of the first pull, yeah, because it was
Yes.
But what's the party
nobody was
makeup?
following target assist, and we didn't really have a tank, and yeah, it was pretty
We had
awful.
2 Bjornings, a mini, a hunter.
So then I put up the
a
assist,
champion.
and I was like, okay, everybody needs to be on my target, because if you're
Yeah,
hitting
that's
other
true.
stuff, you're going to rip the aggro off of me, and I'm not going to be able to get it back, because champion tanking works by having everything hit me.
There was actually some conversation after Terry left about her bossiness.
That's fine. Everybody who listens to this podcast is well aware of my bossiness because Pineleaf made the mistake of handing the reins over to me last week.
That's right. That's right.
So that's not going to come as a surprise to anybody who listens to this podcast. And then Terry Edwin on Gladden is now playing Middle Earth Tourist because after last week's Tales of the Free Folk, I was up until 2:30 in the morning, power leveling Terry up to level 50 so that I could Blessing of the Valor upgrade her, and then promptly took her back to Eriador. Well, not promptly, because I rode through Eastern Rohan, and it was awesome because I was able to go wherever the heck I wanted on the landscape. I didn't have to worry about anything attacking me. It was awesome. And then I got the bright idea to try walking through Moria, and that didn't last very long. That took maybe an hour, and then I was like, yeah,
She
no, I
got
need to
bored,
get
in
out of
other
here.
words. So
No,
she
I
didn't
needed
get
to be
killed, she
out
just
of
got
here. I
bored.
was like, I needed to be out of here. So, and then I ran the rest of the way. But I stopped and picked up stable points as I went, so I'll be able to take stables all the way back. And today I finished Volume 1, Epic Volume 1 on that Terry.
Yay.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, it took me most of the week because she was like the 3rd chapter of Book 6. So there's a lot of running. Even when you're way high level and you have the freedom of the landscape to roam,
Still a lot
there's
of running around.
so much running back and forth. But for a Kel on a war steed is fantastic. It's the best thing ever. Being able to ride at speed through the wind and the fog and the blowing of snow, it was great.
By the way, anybody that's thinking about the Blessing of the Valar, the steed you get with that package is awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
I don't have a matching outfit yet, but stay
coming.
posted. Yeah, I was too busy worrying about trying to get through Volume 1. So it's on my list. It's on my list for probably when I'm done with Moria.
Says nothing all night, and then all of a sudden, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve?
Of
Yes. But
course,
there is a steed with it.
The horse. Yes, there's a special horse that you get.
That's
It's the
brilliant.
Steed of the Citadel.
That's the really cool Minas Tirith one.
No, it's not the same as the Steed of the Citadel Guard. It's a different horse.
There's a Steed of the Citadel and a Steed of the Citadel Guard.
Right.
Yeah, because Steed of the Citadel
That's
Guard.
not confusing at all.
I know, right? Not at all.
The one that I got on Steed of the Citadel Guard is the one that I got on Terry on Landreval that I made a new outfit to match. So anyway, what'd you do, Arthur?
Not a lot, actually. I pulled an Andang and had real life happen. I started a new job teaching this week, and teaching is exhausting and a lot of work because I'm kind of thrown in the deep end halfway through the year. But so I've been busy with that. I actually haven't played much LOTRO at all, except for Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we did the whole bingo boffin thing stream, which was a lot of fun. My minstrel is super duper close to level 79. It's so close. I've been doing level 75 to 80. Excuse me, my minstrel's almost to level 80, not 79. I am level 79, almost to 80. I've basically been doing level 75 to 80, just practicing healing. Like I think I've done a couple solo skirms, but for the most part, I've just been grouping and healing because I want to have healing practice before I get to cap because I don't want to be at cap. And people be like minstrel, and I'm like, that's me. And then they're like heal, and I'm like, ah! So I've actually like been. Ruin City is hard. Like below level to heal that is hard because the bleed gets on like for Jugator will get on two people at once, and when you're like a baby minstrel and the bleed tears up for larger than your morale, you die and then
That's
you run back.
that's fun actually. That was kind
It's
of fun
it's
to
a
watch.
lot of fun, but it's hard. Like
Yeah,
you have to be on point with healing that. So I've been practicing doing that. I haven't yet finished it. We've gotten to Lumathil a couple times, but
died.
yeah, it's been
Well, it was hard to tank as a Beorning too, because I wasn't really like we had
yeah.
a champion yellow and we had a Beorning in yellow, so we were trying to throw off heals, and nobody was really tanking. It was brutal. It was fun, but it was brutal.
It's hard, but it's a lot of fun. I pretty much mostly ran with. I don't think I actually ran with strangers very much. I ran with Becca and Carve and Elda and Kathan. I can't remember if that's it. So if I totally forgot somebody, I apologize. We did. Oh, we did do that. What is it? What's the one? The Icy Crevasse. We
Oh
did
yeah,
that
that one.
with me and Carve and Becca. That was a highlight because I died pretty early on because I didn't realize that with the 3-man come ads on the final.
Uh-huh.
And I was standing with my back. I was like on that first little steam crack thing, and I was standing with my back to
Ouch.
the door, and I
Yeah.
got shot, and I was like, and before I could do anything, I was dead. And
That happens.
then
Yeah.
Carve lasted a long time, and then Becca, she survived the wave of ads, basically solo, and
And
then
Mr. Fluffy was totally the hero.
Mr. Fluffy was awesome, and then Becca was like standing there, and she was like, use water lore, and then sick him, and then there's like a gazillion animals everywhere fighting stuff, and it was epic. I was like watching, I was like, this is cool to watch. It's like,
I
Yeah,
don't think
that
that was me. That probably wasn't me. Was that on Thursday?
no,
that was
Wednesday.
Thursday. No, it
That
was
Wednesday?
Thursday.
That was
No, it couldn't have been because I didn't do that one with you on
Oh,
Wednesday.
you know what? It was Kathan. It was Lord Kathan was on that one. He was on his Guardian. When I died, he was on his Guardian, and he has the set that gives like when he uses Warrior's Heart, he goes up to like 40,000 morale at level 7. Like
Oh yes, the drag set.
yeah, the Dragash set. So he's all there and like so he actually did do a lot of the tanking in that bit because Keeler's dead. You just,
Yeah, you just have
And,
to survive.
So he tanked the ads most of the time until he finally went down, and then Becca finished off the ads, and then lasted a good whiles against the boss by himself. It was really cool. It was like, oh, this is fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's interesting because I really like Icy Crevasse on my champion, and trying to run it on a squishy is a completely different ball game. Because that instance is hard on the squishies.
It's hard. You can't really kite that last boss really too well.
See,
I can.
I don't kite anyway. That's why I play a champion. It's just in his face and whack, whack, whack. But have they fixed the bug where if the mammoth comes within melee range, he boots you, so you end up flying all over the place?
I think that's not a bug. I think that's an ability
Just
of
supposed
the
to be a
mammoth.
thing.
Yeah, because
it's
if you notice, you will have a certain debuff on you whenever he does that.
Yeah, it hurts.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't hurt. It's just annoying because you keep having to run back in.
Well, for me, it hurt because he would boot me. It was like did two-thirds of my morale gone when he did that. If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
that can be annoying. Yes.
Yes. But it was fun. Didn't do much, but what I did was fun. Finally, what'd you do?
We'll begin with Langeville Pine Seed, my second warrant on Langeville, and I reached level 85, and I was continuing with the epic storyline. And I'm pretty early in Rohan there because I was doing a large number of skirmishes with Andang. So as a result, I got to 85 well before I finished the level 85 part of the epic storyline. So I'm going back in the early parts of it. I'm just around the area of Ethangels right now, which is the Norcrofts. So I got a little time to catch up with the storyline on that matter. Then on my Glad Minstrel, I continued with Bingo Boffin and I started the Moria storyline in there. And while I was there, I was pondering on the matter of how is it that these NPCs are able to get their horses into Moria? Something about
Mm.
pack horses in Moria, because the NPC that follows you around for Bingo Boffin has done it, and there's that also what DeWitt and what's his name, who are all over the place in Middle Earth. The Moria version there has his horse there, so I'm wondering they managed it. I was thinking, well, does he have a goat with him this time? Nope, he's got his pack horse with him. They're in the, they're in the Delving View.
Well, Floyd and DeWitt are in Warrior too, aren't they?
Right, that's Floyd to do it.
That's what you're talking
That's
about.
what I was
Okay, yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Well, you give those horses, extra oxygen-rich oats to feed them, and they do fine in Moria.
I think they should maybe instead of a goat, maybe having a pack mule.
That would make more sense, but I'm guessing it's more we don't have time to copy and paste more than just the horse, so we're gonna do this.
Very well. Then also, when I was doing the cooling chamber with this character, I decided that there is this section where you have this warg rider that annoyingly takes a swim into the cooling chamber waters. And probably from I think something based on one of Andang's streams where he mentioned something, and I just say, why not? I don't have to go through this guy. Why don't I just bypass that one, go to the next person, and not worry about it?
Nice.
So I just finally decided after all these years, no, don't even worry about attacking that group. Just bypass it completely, and I'm on my way. And then I dusted off my Brandywine Warden, and I reached level 67, and I was running the Deepway Skirmish a few times. And that concludes my week in Lotro. So let's head into news beyond Lotro. And this week we had a little look into Boromir's sword, and this was at the Thangthrond YouTube channel where he goes around putting Boromir's sword to the test. He acquired a replica of Boromir's sword. And when I say replica of Boromir's sword, this was a functional version of it as opposed to one that's designed to hang on your wall or something like that. So one that's designed, because sometimes they slightly design each of these swords for how they're going to be using it. And this one was designed to be an effective weapon. But it's very, very close to the one that you see in the movies in there. And the first one, he puts it through using it as a hand-and-a-half sword, which is how he feels would be the primary use of a weapon that size. And then the second video, he goes through on how it would have done with a Anglo-Saxon style shield.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
This is awesome. I'm a little bit weirded out though because Pineleaf wrote an article that wasn't about skirmishes.
Well, he's skirmishing with those test dummies.
Well, that is true. So yeah, this is really cool. It's awesome, and just it's always cool to hear people talking about swords. I have yet to see a boring video of people talking about swords.
That's because you like swords.
Maybe.
Like, I like swords, and I'm already thinking, oh man, just as much as Airthreat was about to disappear to the epilogue, I'm thinking, oh, forgive me for the next 11 minutes. I'm going to be watching this
Yeah.
video. But, I like watching swords. I'm like, that's cool. But my wife, on the other hand, she'd be like, really?
Well, and if you look, like, there's tons and tons of math to create like the perfect ratio for a sword that's like actually the way that they geometrically work it out makes it be absolutely perfect the way that it's designed. And so
And what's cool,
mathematically,
yeah,
swords are a
mathematically,
perfect design and they have this whole historical context of this deep-seated history. So swords are always awesome.
We currently have 20 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious rate of players to help LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And how far are we from the next goal?
Well, we are $25 away from a 1-year VIP code for Lotro. That would be so awesome to do. And, even if you're not excited about the goal, each little bit helps support the network. And, we use it to help buy better equipment for our staff and do all sorts of things. So it always helps.
You can email us at podcast@lotroplayers.com, and you can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, Lotro Players at Lotro Players, Andang at PVMP_Andang, Arithert at Arithert, Carvet at Carvet LP, Maven at Token Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 5 live. Sorry, I was already preceding myself before official announcement. Players Alliance has 4 live shows currently. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. And every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.